or what? Oh, come on.
I know you. You are brash but not intentionally cruel. I'm sure all is well.
I guess.
You're a good woman, Kika. Smart, too. You've never been here, yet you knew more of the guy than I did.
I know about Garvin, truthfully. Tales of his deeds were some of the only stories my parents ever told.
Is that so? You could tell me more about it sometime.
I
I'd appreciate that
guess.
very much.
Yes, I wouldn't mind that. It must wait until after this trip, though.
Of
Mm-hmm.
course. We should drop this topic sooner rather than later, in any case.
Thanks, I guess.
I agree.
Even if there's no harm meant, hearing someone mention Garvin is incredibly difficult for the guy, no matter what the circumstance. With the topic dropped, we each remain locked inside our own thoughts, not another passing between us. Eventually, a small light appears on the bridge ahead, gently swaying through the foggy air. It gets closer and closer until it becomes apparent it's a figure carrying a lantern. That must be the guy, although I can't shake the ghostly aura it gives. I believe we should go. My steadfastness seems almost weak in comparison to this.
We shouldn't waste more time.
The guide slowly turns around without even a nod to show his agreement. Margaret stares at the mountain, resolve in her gaze, and she follows after the guide. At least she didn't insist we stay behind.
We should do what we can to protect her. It's our fault she's being put in even further danger.
Yeah,
Exactly my thoughts. We
we
will
will
take
take
care of
care of
everything.
everything.
Maybe I'm being naive, but I have no intentions of letting anyone fall victim to this lake tonight. Those monsters can starve.
Thank you. Smile at him for a change, and the Mel eagerly smiles back.
We're lucky to have each other in this, I think.
I assume so. He turns to follow the others across. I will protect everyone on this trip. I will. We will make it through this. I hope you do. Then I step onto the. Okay. As soon as I step onto the wood, the temperature drops. The light of my lamp shines on the water surface, as reflective as a mirror, until we reach Madigan. That is only one small mist. Above the surface of the lake, it's totally quiet. No longer is there wind, nor the sound of water lapping against the shore. It's just our own mismatched footsteps and the sound of my clicking. One word is able to escape me in my stunned state.
Find.
Shit. Several meters away, a crooked, twisted, black figure hobbles its way toward us. Some kind of liquid rubs off his head, swirling around the edges of its face. It's almost like it's crying. Kamal backs up until he's standing beside me. The figure continues, its head jerking from one ankle to another. Zombies,
What on earth?
right?
It's one of them.
get left behind.
What? How am I supposed to keep walking with this thing at my heels? You said it wants to attack. Don't give it the chance.
How? Thermal sputters in anger, and the guide summarily ignores him. I solidly grab a hold of him.
Here, I'll leave it like this, and you can keep your focus solely on the prowler. Make sure it doesn't get too close.
Thermal eyes the guide with unresolved hostility, but allows himself to softly sigh. Breathe.
Always someone I can count
Oh, despite the fact I'm going against his advice, the guide says nothing more. It's clear now. He doesn't give a damn what we end. Part of me is glad for that. I want to help everyone make it through, and it would be worse to have to persuade the guide every time.
on. Kika, thank you.
No worries. This is serious. I'm sorry, Mouth. He moves his free arm down. I fully link his arm with mine. And now, properly settled, look forward. Margaret is following the guide with some turning back every so often. I see it. Where's Prowler? It's still there. It's right there. Bromel, pull Bromel forward. I shift around, pulling Bromel behind me. The Prowler lunges after him, barely missing Bromel, but striking my lantern instead. The fire goes out, and the two of us are plunged into an unearthly darkness. Then there's a slick splash. I realize the Mick has returned to the water. Somehow, Mel and I are still standing. We're still here. Okay.
Kika, thank you.
I can't respond. Something cold, but defining has grabbed my ankle. Oh shit. Take it off. I kick my leg out as fast as I can, and the Nexus hold slip. It can't pull with the momentum I've gained against it. Margaret rushes to my side, her lantern hanging out towards them. Oh my god. The light brushes its face. After some time, I notice Margaret isn't keeping up with the guide as much as she was before. Huh? I realize it's because the guide has increased and begins to join in an effort to keep up with him, and then despite this, the guide keeps getting further away. We go faster and faster, and then suddenly we're full on jumping slick wooden boards. Figures in the dark fog passed by us at a blur, and the bridge appeared. I try hard to swallow my guide something, but it's drowned out by the frantic pounding of her footsteps. Oh shit, I'm trying to piece together what he said. Don't stop. When he takes a massive stride down the helm and the squeak to the new direction with no loss of speed. Okay. Oh, it didn't pause. Shit. Then I come upon the fort. Turn. I take a hard turn following the guide and leaving Margaret at the rear. Why? Romella's footsteps stay as loud as they were before. He's made a turn as close behind me as ever. Margaret! Oh no! I slow down for a breath, feeling the impulse to turn back, but ignore it. There's no time. Margaret can make the jump and then she'll rejoin us. I keep my eyes glued to the guide's back, ears pricked for Margaret's footsteps approaching behind us. And then I hear it. A scream. I whip around, fighting to stop. Margaret is sinking. The breath she's on is to the water. She's disappearing. She didn't jump. Oh shit.
What are you doing?
Margaret's head shoots up, her face drained of all color.
Jump!
She stumbles near the edge of the bridge, staring at the placid water of the lake. Even from a distance, I can see her shaking. I can't say if it's from the bridge's descent or her own fear. She rarely seems to remain standing. I swallow painfully. Margaret, please, you can do this. Margaret bends and tries to jump. She curves in a small arc, achieving more height than she should, and lands directly in the lake with a muted splash. Camillus starts beside me. I grab his hand and pull. We start running again, leaving Margaret flailing in the water behind us. We don't need to rush this. We both know exactly what will happen to her now. Margaret's anguished cries pierce the night, then the screaming stops. My legs grow weak. It isn't right, but I push myself to keep going. Donnelly curses between heavy breaths, pronouncing every foul name in his large book. I try to focus on the pounding of my feet, but my brain won't cooperate. Instead, I imagine Margaret's terror as she clawed to pieces by the neck. After everything I didn't help her, we left her in the dark. Hello? There, curled in a little ball, illuminated by the lantern's light, cowers a person. His hand grips his head, and he rocks from side to side, mumbling incoherently. There curled, um,
Sorry. I'm sorry. I couldn't. I just couldn't. Please.
wait, what? What
Sorry.
are you sorry about? I'm struck with an area of questions. What is going on? Why would he wander out onto this bridges on his own? Did he make it this far by himself? Were there others with him? I believe there were others since he's sorry. If that's somehow the case, I can't blame him for the state of shock he.
Leave him.
What do you mean, leave him? I snap my eyes away from the man, instead to the guide's cold, implacable face.
No! We can't just leave him here. Without light, it's certain he'll die. He won't make it regardless.
What does that mean? The guide turns to look at us, his eyes seeming to glow from the closeness of his lantern. For the first time, I feel uncomfortable in his presence.
Whoever shelters him will only risk dragging themselves down with him. Leave him. If the man comes, then whoever is shielding him will have to remain at a distance from the rest of the group. Far enough that you can't see me, just my light. That is how you will travel across the bridges. I didn't agree to lead this man, and I won't. If you ask me to, I will leave you all behind.
Adrenaline surges through my veins and I tense up. It's a painful reminder that the guide isn't here to save our lives, but merely show us the way. We're on our own.
You for staying back with me. It's kind of nice.
No need to thank me.
Oh, right. I can't even show gratitude correctly. Of course.
I go to him to give. To him. I go to give him a look, but he's smiling. He looks less pitiful than usual. He almost seems content, while smiling sinless.
It is
How? Why?
to make a joke out of thinking that way about yourself.
If you don't want people to say things like that, then you shouldn't reject their thanks. Either I did right by thanking you, or I did wrong.
Fine. You're welcome.
Haha. This time he lets out a real laugh. It was a short one. He stretches his arms out in front of him and elongates his strides, so he's walking a bit ahead of me. It's what's wrong with me. He's relaxed and completely unguarded. He's even fine with distancing himself from the light and all the odd comments he's said so far. Then a thought strikes me. Maybe the reason he's so calm is that he doesn't care what happens to him. My heart plummets into my gut. For a time, there is a relative peace in the silence between us. The light in the distance still drifts along in the same manner as it did when we first started walking, which I take to mean the path hasn't turned so far. Hopefully, that means we're still going on the right path. But the light, it got brighter. It's strong enough that I have to glance away for a second. The next time I look, the light has grown. The bridge's on fire! I grab Lou's arm without thinking. He's standing there stiff, staring at the glow dull eyes still. Who the hell with the guide's order? If we don't go now, we will never go anywhere again. I give him his arm a small tug, and he appears to come to himself when he nods at me. I make the decision then that I won't let go of his arm. I don't know what will happen to him if we do. We take off, the heat growing with each step. The dankness of the bridge means the fire is spreading slowly, but it makes me question how it began. Continue weaving across the bridge, shielding ourselves from the heat. I can see a faint figure in the distance through the smoke as we drop closer. I realize it's Pamela coming our way. I press on to meet him, towing Lou alongside me. Pamela is absolutely notices us, and I can't help but match the look of relief on his face as I approach him. I take a moment to study my breathing after getting the most pressing question out of my mind.
His solution to that was throwing an open flame at the damned monsters. He knew he'd be setting this entire place ablaze. It didn't matter.
Did the guide leave you behind? Is he...
I begin fiercely at first, but as I speak, I can't help the worry leaking into my eyes.
He's the man you need to worry about out here. I chose to stay back. There was plenty of light to go around thanks to him.
I balk at him.
That's not a plan, Family. You need a lantern to make it. What if we didn't find each other? Do you realize how easily you could have gotten yourself killed?
I've seen what happens to those left to catch up, Keegan. They don't. I wasn't going to keep running this time and leave you behind.
Pamela, swallowing in my retort, I close my mouth and look at him solemnly. After a moment, I sigh. This isn't the time for discussion, and after what Margaret went through, I can't blame him for the conclusion he came to. Suddenly, the bridge begins to quake once more beneath our
We're
feet.
going to leave. Which way did the guide go?
I don't know,
Please remember.
though he went off in that direction. The fog overtook him, but I didn't see him turn.
That will work. Lou? What are you doing?
He doesn't offer an explanation.
Both of you stay close. We are not going to...
We keep down the path, the flames still gradually dawning on the planks behind us. The guide doesn't turn up, nor do any signs of him. But we push on. Just as my spirit is beginning to dim, we come across different directions to take among all the forests. There are only two that aren't collapsed or too much consumed by fire. They're following, risk following.
You'll
Okay.
have to pick one.
Emily sounds uncharacteristically doubtful of himself.
I don't know.
It's alright.
Anything at all, a cold sweat trickles at its way down my back. Before anyone tries to randomly choose, a noise catches my attention. I hastily address the two.
A whistle.
It came from the right.
You and I trade looks. This could be the signal we need, but what if it isn't?
Monsters know how to whistle.
seems unlikely.
The air isn't pleasant to them.
Finally, our perseverance is rewarded. And finally, our perseverance is rewarded. The silhouette of an island rises in the distance. The island grows rapidly larger, and soon the sense of earth and trees reach us. Amazing! In spite of all the horrors of this night, a dog emerges from the fog before us, welcoming us to safety. We reach the shore. I don't believe it until I've stepped off the wood and off. Huh? No one has the energy to argue with him at this moment. I find a place as comfortable as one could ask for in a location like this, next to one of the trees, further out and lay down, trying to block out my thoughts. For once, exhaustion is my ally, and I slip off into sleep. Wow, that was intense. My eyes slowly blink open and readjust to the brightness, what little there is. The sun is obscured by a thick layer of fog, making it impossible to estimate the time of the day. Memories of last night's harrowing journey flicker through my mind. Camille wakes suddenly, rising with alarm and start. Yeah,
Yeah?
totally. Great. Camille leads us to the area where the guide mentioned we were going to meet. He lowers himself down onto the ground and stretches out right there, presumably intending to wait until the guide arrives. There's a little more dramatic resting than I planned. Huh. I walk over and make myself comfortable next to him, though not as comfortable as he has made himself. He scrunches his face and takes his seat some distance away from the two of us. The three of us quietly wait for the guide's arrival, occasionally chatting with one another as we rest. The sky turns orange as the sunset comes upon us. The color seems to drain from the world, being consumed by the fog. The guide makes his appearance. I nod and feel myself grow tense. We truly are about to return to these bridges. All of us wait in an uncomfortable silence until night falls. We silently stand as one, forming a visual of sorts. Our remaining lanterns illuminate the dark, prepared for tonight's journey. And yet, the way forward does not appear. The bridges have risen from the depths. I glance to my side. The guide doesn't look at all pleased. The corners of his mouth have a harsh bend as he briefly loses himself to heavy thoughts.
Go to the shore.
He doesn't offer an explanation as to why. Instead, he goes on without us. I follow after the guide, my forehead creasing with smelling worry. Behind me, I hear Bamila's and Lou's unsure footsteps. The four of us press onto the shore. The dark waters lap at the edges of the sand, and as expected, the maze is still hidden beneath the swell. The guide grips his staff tighter, still, his knuckles ghostly white. He sucks in a breath of air like he's about to speak, but he hesitates. We all stare at him expectantly. After a moment, the guide is fed up with waiting.
The bridges
Speak
are closed.
up.
If they don't arrive as soon as darkness falls, there's no telling exactly how long it will be before they do.
What does that mean? Camilla's face immediately sours, and he is unable to stay silent about his
We're not
feelings.
going to waste our time standing idly by. There's hardly enough time to make the trip as it is.
Exactly. Lou doesn't say anything, often just stare at the ground with an absurd expression.
Time is by far the least of our worries. On the bridges, we are constantly moving, which makes it easier to avoid the prowlers. However, this island does not offer that luxury. We're trapped here.
My body goes rigid as his words sink in.
And importantly, the bridge is raised above the waters. Nixie have difficulties pulling themselves up onto the bridges. The soft sloping of the shore will allow far more prowlers to drag themselves towards us.
Oh,
Not all will be as dangerous as the ones we've encountered thus far. However, we could easily be overwhelmed.
true. A pit forms deep in my stomach. I stare at him aghast. I had no idea the situation was that dire. I glance from the waterline to the trees. What I'm looking for, I don't know. A sign of what might be to come, perhaps?
I wonder if those fires had anything to do with this.
Pamela's words are biting as he wonders aloud. Tide answers Pamela firmly, wanting to put an end to his speculation.
Whatever magic controlling the bridges is inconsistent. Humans haven't found a way to impact it. We can only do temporary physical damage to the boards.
I see. Pamela is still
Should we
displeased.
return to our original spot? We would have more protection there.
The guide closes his eyes and suddenly looks very worn down.
Staying in the center of the island is the safest option. However, there's the risk that we may not be able to reach the bridges when they do rise. Prowlers could have taken full control of the shore by then. Remaining here with our lanterns will ensure the prowlers cannot move freely.
My brows involuntarily knit together. I don't like the sign of taking additional risks in an area that is already so dangerous. But our options are thin.
I will not be kept on this island for another day, so the shore is where I will be. You may wait at the edge of the forest, or even at the center of the island if you fear being attacked. If the prowlers come between us and you fail to make it to the bridges, I will leave you behind.
Pamela spits hatefully under his breath.
Of course you would.
I mean, of course, why wouldn't he? True generosity is not something I would expect from the guide, but that is not the conversation we need to have at this moment. The guide has made his decision and we must
If
make
we're
ours.
sitting by the shore, perhaps I could be positioned somewhat further back from you, and then the others could stay further back still. That would keep us safer, without having any major gaps of darkness between us and the shore. You could start a fire, seeing as neither of you have a lantern.
Good suggestion, Kika.
Fine.
Huddled on the matter, the three of us begin to move away from the guide. He pays little attention to us, instead silently fixing his eyes on the water. I take my place in the middle of the shore while Emily and Lou hover closer to the island's core, on the line between dirt and sand. After getting a sense of where they are, I turn my gaze ahead. Oh shit, at first I think I'm being fooled by the fog. There are several white dots playing along the edges of the water. Dark globes begin to surface, and I see them for what they are, eyes. So many white, dribbling eyes, gleaming sharply against their pitch-black bodies as the Nixie bob up and down. They surface and disappear in a loop, each time more sets of eyes and closer, surveying us more intently. Then they cackle. The sound is atrocious, gurgling, then turning high-pitched as they seem to take full stock of us. Holy shit. The lights in their eyes somehow seem brighter as the first of Nixie dig their claws into the sand and begin dragging themselves upon the shore. I plant my feet firmer. With the threat rising, I decide to take one last moment to check on others. Emily is tending to a small flame. However, I don't see Lou with him. Immediately alarmed, I raise my voice to call for him.
I'm okay.
A bit of rustling comes from above. I'm at a loss over what's happening before I realize that Lou is speaking. From up a tree, before I can ask what he's doing, Lou continues.
Chance any Nixie will get a hold of me here. They won't climb.
His voice is light-hearted with an easy confidence. With a slight shake of his head, Emily chuckles at Lou.
You'll get down from there as smoothly as you climbed up.
Maybe.
He still sounds fully self-assured. I smile to myself. I'd like to believe that Lou will truly be safe from those predatory creatures this way. With the two of them doing as well as they can be, I cautiously back up to my original position. I return my full focus to the shore. As we feared, this is becoming a pressing situation. More prowlers rose from the waters while my attention was on the crew. They've surrounded the guide on both sides. The only way to gain distance from them would be himself further into the land. Yet the guide shows no sign of giving up his mission. He remains where he is, resolving to keep all monsters near him inside. I grow more unnerved the longer I watch this. Guide seemed impervious to the dangers of sin laws. This is the first case where I can't tell whether he will continue to be fine as always or not. It's a distressing notion. As they creep even closer, I can't stay silent any longer.
Consider retreating.
He doesn't face to me, but
I can't
replies,
do that. Nixie recognized signs of weakness. Backing away will only increase the odds of them attacking.
"Oh, I see." I grip my lantern tighter as I swallow hard. What can I do? As if to answer my own question, a thought whispers into my mind, and I look down at the lantern in my hand. I could throw it, as long as I don't let it go too far down the shore. It doesn't seem plausible that a Nick could take it. But if I do lose the lantern, then watch. I can't act rashly here. The guide has managed through every situation we've been through, as well as countless others we did not dare to witness. I resolve to continue with what we have planned and keep my position. I think that's the better idea because I don't think Lou and the Pamela have a lantern, even though we were on land. I don't know, because, yeah. Without flinching, the guide keeps hold of her position on the waterline. I periodically switch between watching him, the others, and the rest of the shore. As I scan the forest, there's a stinging groan. Was that the what? I stand rigid in shock, a painful prickling sensation going down my back before whipping around to face the truth. He's crouched low on ground, staring forcefully at a group of Nixie head-on. There's a monst- other, whole other group of monsters rapidly crawling back into the water. I step forward with a shout, but he puts out one hand to hold me. I do not go further. I and those creatures motionlessly watch for what he'll do. His fingers curl tightly around the upper half of his shaft. With great effort, he begins to rise to his unstable feet. Okay. The moment he is fully upright, the guide aggressively swings his lantern at the encroaching Nixie. He catches them completely off guard, and they scatter to rejoin the rest in the black depths. Okay. The guide crumples. Motherfucker! God damn. Hello, Blaze. Welcome, welcome. Ah, you got me. The guide crumples back into the sun unceremoniously. I can hear his ragged breaths as he regains his composure. For a second, I thought something happened in game, but then I realized I have that for sound alerts. Oh god, my heart skipped a beat. Lurking. Yeah. The guide okay, I read this. He tugs at one side of his cloak. Are you enjoying? Bringing it, bringing it close around himself, it covers up a dark, growing stain creeping through his right pant leg. Even while collapsed, he seems compelled to hide his fragility. Hmm. Interesting. Is that admirable or saddening? I do not know anymore. Me neither. The guide roughly pulls himself back onto his feet and forces himself to remain standing. Okay, this is sad. The rest of us must remain strong as well if we are to survive this night. I wonder if he gets scared. Gripping my lantern, I watch over everything and everyone inside vigilantly. Okay. After an untold period of time, the water begins to stir. There's an unusual gurgling and a sound I never thought I would be just relieved to hear. Slowly, creakily, the bridges make their nightly appearance. Wow, finally! Sinless is an overwhelmingly cruel environment. This island had felt like a safe haven such a short time ago, but that has been twisted to the point where I am grateful for a chance to return to the maze. And we may not even reach that. What do you think? Oh, okay. More Nixie are breaching the water and wrenching themselves onto stand. The guide signals to all of us. Thanks to his position on the shore, the guide is able to board the bridges without confrontation. For the rest of us, however, the Nixie begin to crowd the opening. It appears on they want to get on themselves. Oh, okay, on the bridge. We desperately we have desperately little time before we'll be cut from the guide. I look through my lantern. Will this light alone be enough to cause them to disperse? I mean, strength is also something. The guide just said you need to not show weakness. Davila appears at my side, dragging Lou's arm in one hand and his sword in the other. Okay, that's my strength. Lou yanks himself free of Damila's grasp and doesn't seem very happy at the treatment.
Being taken into the water is the biggest threat with these creatures. While we're on the shore, we can keep enough distance to avoid it. I can help push them back.
I was gonna keep the stream short, but I was um, compelled by the story. I appreciate his confidence, but I'm still not certain his help will be worth the risk. Two is more intimidating than just one, and there are many prowlers lurking. However, physical ones don't hurt them in the same way they do people. I could still use my lantern alone. That has been the one weapon we've wielded against them thus far. My mind goes over every point I can and think of on a loop. But there isn't that kind of time to spare. I have to give an answer. I don't know. Seemingly, like he desperately wants to disagree. Doubtful.
There's too much risk for you to come with me. I'm going now.
Wait, what? Oh, I missed it. I missed what happened. Well, I didn't miss it. I just lost track of it in a sense. I turn on my heels towards Nixie. There's even more of them now. They drag themselves pitifully along the ground, reaching out their hands in our direction like beggars. Unfortunately, nothing can be done to help these creatures. As I approach, they curl their bodies from the light of my lantern. None of them move to retreat, however. Eyeing them warily, I quickly jump forwards in the hope of startling them. A few hiss and fail, pulling themselves into the water. One responds a different way. It returns the aggression by lashing out and knocks my light free. Oh shit! The lantern falls to the ground and blinks out. Oh! Before I can turn around, one of them pounces on. Oh shit!
Get to the bridges!
Pika! Oh my god! There is shouting, but I'm not able to make out what the words are. As I feel the thick water begin to lap against my legs, I know in my soul that I will never escape. This is the end. Phew! Holy shit, that I can only imagine Bomo's response.